everyone, and welcome to my channel. And I am SolieSims, and in today's video we will be doing a speed build of a 5x5 minimalistic house. And I'm going to speak today a bit about the house and a bit about the sim that I envisioned living there. And you can see a sim in the front of the lot right now, but this is just my test sim. She's actually Felicia from another series that not a series, another build that I did, the lake house one. She's a bit of a wanderer. She doesn't like to stay in one place that much. Anyway, the sim that I am going to envision living there is much different. She again, and I realize that I normally tend to build a house based on what I'm familiar with, and I always go with a female sim, and I probably should one day try to build a house with a masculine sim in mind, but that is for another day. With the sim that is going to be living in this house, I have envisioned for her that she will not be somebody who will be being at home that often, as much as she does enjoy having her own space and being on her own. This house is actually just a little over $22,000. So it's basically almost like a starter home. She does enjoy being at home, but being away from home as well, but not so much in a party sense, but more in a sense that she enjoys work so much. So she works a lot. She's a very hard worker, and this is what she likes to come home to: a nice, clean, quiet place. And maybe the reason why she wanted a more of a minimalistic look in her home is because wherever it is that she works, it is maybe it's a noisy, messy place. So with that in mind, I decided to go with something, just some simple clean lines, nothing too glamorous and nothing too crazy, just some place that she can be comfortable with. And so maybe, and we don't have any mechanic places, but for some reason when I said that, immediately a garage popped into my mind. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Anyway, so this sim, she doesn't entertain that much. She likes to be on her own. I mean, she does have stuff, and you will see shortly, because I did make a deck in and an outdoor area apart from the deck for in the event that she does have to entertain. But it's basically that she wanted a small space just for herself. The bathroom I didn't do too much with, and because the space is so limited, it doesn't have a sink, but it does have extra shelving, because I mean, she does need that extra space. She is female after all. But I envision her to be like have a tough type of character. She doesn't really care about appearances in terms of her physical appearance, to glam up and etc. in a mirror. So I just put in the extra shelving there, just to help with storage, and also to add a little bit of color, the plant and the stuff on the walls. So her little space is just that. It's just enough for her to feel comfortable with, and to be able to move around, etc. So with the problem I've always found with building a small house, even on a small lot, because the lot size is like a 20 by 15, is that there's still so much space on the outside that needs to be sorted out in terms of landscaping. And because this was a minimalistic house, I was so happy about that, because that means I didn't have to go overboard on landscaping. Because guys, I do struggle with landscaping. I'm always saying this. And I mean, at the end, I do like how it turns out, how it looks. But at the time, I have to sit and think and think and think, and it drives me crazy about what I'm going to do next. On the decking, I placed these two chairs. Obviously, one does not work quite as well in terms of being able to sit to eat at the table, because of the angle that it is at, and that is how I wanted it. I wanted it to look a little bit more lived in and comfortable, and I'm just going to plop a few little shrubs around the place, just to make it look more inviting. It's not just a plain little piece of house just built on an empty plot, right? That's the intention that I had for it when I did the little bit of landscaping in the front. Now, again, with this sim, she would not want anything that she has to maintain, so she put in a lot of shrubs that is very low maintenance. It can go with the weather, however, and definitely there will be no gardening in her future, because that's just not the type of sim that she is. And in the back, I built in just a little wooded area, just so that there is a place that she could go out to, without actually having to socialize with that many people, because maybe she is a bit of a loner as well. As much as she has no choice but to work with other people, when she's home she likes a quiet time and she enjoys being by herself. So I did put in a campfire, and I just filled in the back spaces here with a bit of shrubs, and eventually some bulbous bushes, with just to bring in a bit of color, really, from the drabness of the greens. Well, green isn't drab, it's actually one of my favorite colors, but you know, I mean, in terms of the colors choices that were in the backyard, it was all green and white and yellow, and it kind of just seemed a little bit boring, so I added just a little bit of a pop of color to it. And surprisingly, Felicia directly went into this. So guys, I'm going to leave this video right here and make you enjoy the rest of it, and pretty soon there will be a video tour of the build, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.